really quick, jumping back further, you asked Jim, when he came to Atlanta. It sounded like you came to Atlanta as well. So you're not an Atlanta native. Your parents moved.
Oh, right. No, I grew up in San Diego.
Okay. Yep.
So I moved here because of a relationship, and then fell in love with Atlanta and stayed. So when I was living in Roswell at the time, there were really I was teaching music. I was a mother. I had a young child, and I just and a vocal teacher. So I'm a piano teacher and a
voice
songwriter and voice teacher. And it's really hard to teach voice in a guitar store.
Yeah.
So I would work. I remember I worked at Jennings Music in Marietta, and I just remember, this is just awful. Like, my students are really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, I'm going to open up a music school, and I'm going to make it so that it's comfortable for vocalists. Because at the time, nobody really taught voice. They only taught piano and guitar, and then maybe violin.
I thought you were just born a good singer.
You are, but you might lose your voice on the road if you don't take lessons. So, and some people never, but they enjoy the process. But so during that time, I was teaching because I was a young mother, and I was a really good teacher and teaching piano and voice. And so I decided, so I was teaching at a music store, and I was teaching out of my home, and I had like 60 students.
Wow.
And making a good living as a music teacher, and then in bands on the weekend, right? So it was the life. And then someone hit my mailbox, like one of my students, not my mailbox, my neighbor's mailbox. It was a defining moment. It's kind of like when you're dating someone and you watch them one day and they're brushing their teeth, and you think, I don't like the way that person brushes their teeth. In fact, I don't like them at all. Like, it was.
Why did I marry this person? I've never been married, and that's one of the exact things.
So it's like it's a defining, because everybody says, did you go and get an MBA? Did you and it was a defining moment. I was like, someone hit the mailbox. I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. So I went and. I was crazy. I was in my 20s, and on a credit card, I went and rented space on Crossville Road in Roswell in a little office suite, and I hired my friends to work for me, and we were going to be cool, and we were going to be educated and cool. So I hired Barry Richmond. Oh, one of the finest guitarists ever.
Yeah, is he still with us, or did he pass?
No, he's with us.
Okay.
Yeah. Barry's one of, I remember seeing him when he opened up for Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Wow.
He's a savant.
Wow.
I hired Ted Howe. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't hire Ted. I hired his wife at the time, Annie, to work for me. And I remember at some point I hired George Martin. Do you know George? He's a piano player.
No.
Yeah. So I hired all the people who are gigging.
Yep.
Because I never had cool teachers. I had the teachers that would hit my hand and stuff like that. And
play hot cross buns on your record.
Yeah, like only reading. And I was like, no, we're gonna change it up. And so I hired those kinds of teachers, and I still hired classical teachers too, and. But we started there, and so it got to a point. You asked me. This is a long story to get to the point, but you asked me, why did I name it? It was the Peggy Still School of Music, because I wanted to cash checks. At the time, I was a sole proprietor, and I never, I
Yep.
I couldn't cash checks, and I didn't have any money to get a business license. So I was like, still, and I started the school with my 60 students, and so. That's why I called it that. And little did I know that would propel my career. I became this myth, kind of like Braveheart. I became this lady who...
The music
Have
lady.
you heard of Peggy Still? And yeah, that's me. That's you? I thought Peggy Still was like 90 years old and this and this. And I'm like, nope, that's me. That's me. So it outgrew me.
Yep.
And so we grew. So from that little tiny shopping center, were we getting to this anyways?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So from that little tiny shopping center, I moved to the Mansell Road. There was an Ingles there, I think, and
right down the road here, really.
Yeah,
not too far down the road.
So the back side of it, which is no longer there, I went ahead and moved there because we grew so big, and so then from there, then I grew it to 3 locations, and that is because of my current and only last husband, the one that I love so much, Scott Johnson. Scott was a businessman, so he showed me how. I didn't have an MBA or anything. He showed me how to take it from 1 location to 3, how to remove myself, how to brand it,
Yep.
and sell it. So I successfully sold it with 3 locations.
Nice.
After 23
How many total
years.
students? Total students.
600.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really
50
something.
teachers.
Wow.
And at that point, what happened to me is I had dropped out of college to support my ex-husband, who was in law school at the time. I had dropped out of college to support him, and so after having the school, I don't think I've ever told this, but I can tell this now. After having the school, I was hiring all teachers that all had degrees, and then we started advertising. We'd have degreed teachers, and so I was like, I need to go back to school.
Yeah.
So I went back to Georgia State and it was a hard thing. What do I major in? Do I major in jazz? Do I major in voice? Do I major in piano? And I was like, I'm going to major in what I always wanted to do, and that was score films. And that would be composition. So it encompassed everything. And so I took lessons from Jeff Hayden. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah, Dr. Jeff Hayden.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff. And so he
He's
really helped me with my technique and my rhythm.
And
and
he's
stuff.
classically trained as well.
Yeah, but he does both. He's
Oh,
got
yeah, he's a-
perfect
he's a
pitch.
great-
He's,
oh,
he's
is
one
he
of those
perfect
guys.
pitch?
Yeah, he can do what the others can't do either. He can do it all. But long story short, so that was a path, and those 23 years, just all the musicians we trained.
Yeah.